Hello, I'm Angela Marie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you just some basic jelly printing. First, I keep it in a clamshell between two pieces of copy paper. So I peel the first page off, or the top page, starting with a yellow paint. I'm going to make a sunflower. So you want to use just the right amount. You'll see later on what happens when you use too much. So with practice, you kind of learn what's, a good dollop and what isn't. This is an 8-inch round jelly plate that I got off of Amazon. I believe it's a Gelli Arts one, but I can't remember. And you take the brayer and you just smooth that over. And before it dries too quickly, you get out your, here I'm working with stencils. So I try to center that stencil just right. Put my piece of paper over it and do the initial print. And then what will be left will be the ghost one. And then I put a second layer of paint over that and do a full pull to get the to effect. So there it is, just a single layer. And then I'm pulling that off. Now I'm doing the black. This is where the boo-boo is because it comes out like I didn't even feel like I squeezed it. And you will see that is way, I mean, I might not be able to see, but you will see how many times I try to wipe this thing off, how much I got in excess. So I decided not to waste. I could use that as a collage paperwork. So I just kind of took the sunflower page and took off that excess. You want to get it to where you thin enough to where you kind of see that shadow underneath of what you put on there. Here in a moment, you're going to see I take too much off, but luckily I still had plenty on there to be able to smooth it off. I don't like lines. I like it to look pretty smooth, but that's all personal preference. So that's way too much off. So I go back over, I go different directions, just trying to get that nice smooth look to it. I am about there. Wipe my brayer off real quick. Grab my piece of cardstock. I'm using 110-pound cardstock that I just got at Walmart. You want to press pretty firmly. You got to heat it up, let it kind of smush in and dry a little on the piece of paper. So you work that in. Yeah, I just rub. Just going around. Some people say they can feel like the heat of it. I don't necessarily feel that way, but, and then that was a really good clean pull off and print. That's where you got the two tones to be used in a project later. Now here I go again with a different color. This is my, ooh, slippery. This is my base color. Just a thin layer. And then I will use a piece of copy paper that I used kind of to, with every initial, other than the sunflower, every initial one I used. So I just kind of go in the middle, squish around, get that paint and those crevices off so that the ghost print will remain. And you don't have to, it probably looks like I'm being aggressive here because the paper, I'm used to using the cardstock, so the paper's like a lot different. Easy peasy. So then I go with a lighter color just for some contrast. The opposite was a light color than a dark color. Acrylic dries and doesn't pull up or mix like watercolor does with each other. So you can, as long as it's completely dry, it's not going to become the other color. Again, a thin layer. I don't know if you can tell, but you can kind of tell, I think, that you can see the, maybe not, but you should be able to see the shadow. And so I did it in the corner because I'm going to do two for a project. And I didn't need them to be perfectly on their own. So this is my first one at the top. Tried to kind of make it as even as possible. And again, another pretty good clean swatch. And then there's two of them on that page to be used later. This one, I did not get very much photo, but this is me showing you how to dry faster the base layer. So you don't want to use heat, but fanning it. I got to thinking I have a makeup, one of those fans that people would use to kind of not a very strong one. I'm going to bring that up and use that because I don't really use that in makeup room anymore. So again, just a nice thin layer. Do that. Oh, right, yeah. Gotta remember to wipe off the excess so your brayer doesn't get too overloaded. And this is the last one I'm doing, and I center it as best as possible. Put that paper I was working on for the initial prints on top of each other. So I'm doing that there. Again, this paper is not as thick, so it's like bunching up, but it looks like I'm doing a lot of pressure, but I don't feel like I was. Anyway, easy peasy, comes up. Here I did 2 colors, so this is kind of showing you. I put the light color on and then 2 dots of the other purple color. And then typically what I would do is do the lightest color first, but the brayer I used was a little wide, so that's what happened. But it worked out. I wanted them to mesh together and be kind of marbled, and I feel like it did kind of, in a weird way, marble a little bit. So just kind of mushing those together and pull it up. Get my cardstock. This is my final one, so I just use a single sheet. And I pull it up here in a minute. There you go. That's what it looked like. And so these are the prints that I did during this session. These are just simple ways to make jelly printing. This is my first video on mixed media jelly printing. So if you do enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, and comment. Catch you in the next one. Bye.